Squad Pod. Squad Pod.
Hey everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world, and what not only a week but a past 3 days it's been. And it's like tomorrow is free agency from the time that we record this, but it's already wild. Patriots have a whole new team. We'll get into your thoughts on that, man.
Loaded, man. We loaded.
Loaded already. Tons of cuts already. I'm sure there's going to be more, and tons of signings already. And a couple other big news in the NFL. One, we'll talk about Drew Brees a little bit. He retired. And then, of course, we'll get into the NBA news and hot and nots that you come up with every week. And, of course, the bias bubble and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast.
Yes.
Mouth was dry there. I was going through everything. But, yeah, before we get into, like, the crazy free agency stuff, we'll talk about Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees is finally calling it quits after 20 years in the NFL.
Hey, and he's going to be going into the booth, being a broadcaster now, which will be interesting to see. He's got Tony Romo's hype and like the bar set by Tony Romo to live up to.
He's joining NBC Sports as an analyst, like right into it. Like there was rumors about it, I think a couple, like last year, like whenever the rumors about him retiring were happening.
Hey, where do you put him? Top 10, top 15, top 5? When it's all said and done.
Going into talking about that, I have his career ranks that ESPN released. Out of all-time career ranks, he's number 1 in passing yards with 80,000. Number 1 in completions with 7,142. Completion percentage, he's number 1, and in passing touchdowns, he's number 2 to Tom Brady. Not Tom Brady's number 1. But man, like his stats say he's like the number 1, but I mean, obviously Tom Brady's the best quarterback.
He's only got 1 Super Bowl.
That is true.
He's like the greatest regular season quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
he's better than Peyton Manning. You know what I mean, as far as that goes, even because Peyton Manning's usually considered like the greatest regular season quarterback because of his failures in the playoffs. But no, it's Drew Brees is the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Like, I heard on the radio they were talking about, we're gonna put Dan Marino ahead of him. They put Joe Montana ahead of him, and if with his 4 Super Bowls, I can feel you on putting Joe Montana ahead, but like some of the people they were putting ahead of him, I was just like,
ahead of Drew Brees though,
right? Even Aaron Rodgers, who I think might be more talented overall, more athletic, we'll say. Drew Brees is more accurate. Like you just said, he's got the highest completion percentage, and he's 20 years in, man. I just think Drew Brees definitely was one of the greatest ever. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And I mean, I heard a conversation today about like it just proves like a player like him. It proves that it's a whole team is what it takes to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Because I mean, look at him. He only has 1 Super Bowl in this crazy career that he's had. I mean, Peyton Manning only has 2 in the crazy career. Like look how good he is, and Aaron Rodgers won. But I mean, it takes a whole team to win a Super Bowl, not just a QB. The QB definitely helps.
Takes a system, no matter how good the QB is.
Yeah, and what's crazy about Drew Brees retiring, he retired to the exact day 20 years.
Wow.
Like, March 14th, 2006, he signed with the Saints. March 14th, 2021, Drew Brees retired. Like 20 years to the day.
But he was with the Chargers a little bit before that.
Well, yeah, it was since he signed with the Saints.
That's cool, though.
2006. Oh, 15 years, sorry. 15
cool,
years
though.
to the day. But yeah, so yeah.
I respect him, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the booth.
Yeah, so I mean, that brings into question as well is Jameis Winston just got signed. Taysom Hill just got re-signed, restructured. Sean Payton says there's going to be a QB competition for the starting spot in New Orleans.
You telling me? Do you think there's going to be a competition?
I don't know. It seems like they're really sold on Taysom Hill for some reason at quarterback.
When it comes down to it, Jameis Winston's going to come out in training camp and play lights out football.
Probably.
He's gonna look like Jameis fucking Winston did. Like I know he threw 30 interceptions, but I don't give a shit, man. He led the league in passing yards because he was just aggressive. He was just going. No wonder he threw so many interceptions. It's a result of his play style that season. Like
Exactly.
It is what it is. I don't think that, and then since then he's got at LASIK surgery, so he could see a little bit better now.
Oh, things are so much clearer.
Things we found out after he threw 30. You know what I mean? Like things like that.
Great plays coming in and playing.
Taysom Hill is a great gadget quarterback type player, but like
I don't see him as a starting QB.
He's not a starting QB, man. I don't see it. We'll see. We'll see.
I can see Jameis as the lead. I don't know if I'm sold on them keeping Jameis as the future of the Saints.
Long term, no. I don't necessarily think that either. But going in the next season, I definitely
think it's going to be Jameis.
Right.
So, I mean, Saints, they haven't really done much really here at all just because they've been trying to get under cap as well. They had a bigger cap. They were, in the negatives higher than the Eagles were. And I think the Eagles were like number second or third lowest. But yeah, they're struggling to get out of the cap.
They'll figure it out, or we'll see, because they still got a lot of good pieces over there.
Yeah, that's true. But we do have a ton of free agency news here. Some we can try and just roll through. Some we'll have to actually talk about because some were actually big signings. Here's a cap casualty.
Cap casualty.
The Bills released wide receiver John Brown and defensive line Quentin Jefferson. And I was kind of surprised, man, because John Brown, he's had some injury history, but he's a really good wide receiver.
He is, but he's also aging. He's not really that old, but he's been hurt, like you were saying, he's banged up, and he's also getting a little bit older. So this is going to be his third different team wherever he goes now. So we'll see where he lands. I remember him. Right.
The next here, it's not. This is just kind of a rumor. Teams have reached out to the Patriots, who have been very active. We'll talk about that then. About possibly getting N'Keal Harry off of you guys.
Come get him.
Vikings. We'll talk about your Patriots because there's a lot to talk about then. The Vikings released veteran offensive tackle Riley Reif, saving $11 million cap space. So, Riley Reif, that's kind of a big name. He's going to be out there. Saints released cornerback Janoris Jenkins, which is a pretty high-profile release.
Another cap casualty, man.
Another cap casualty, man. They just keep coming. The Chiefs, man.
Yeah.
They released 2 of their starting offensive linemen.
But they also signed our boy Joe Thuney.
Yes, they did, to a huge contract.
Huge deal.
They released Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz.
Eric Fisher, who was the number 1 overall pick a couple years ago. That's how good he was,
That's how good he is. But, you saw what happened in the Super Bowl without an offensive line. So, they are like, we got to get this fixed. Make sure everybody's going to be healthy. But, man, Joe Thuney, I was kind of hoping, I know the Eagles wouldn't have been able to afford him, but dude, that's crazy that he went to the Chiefs, because I know, how are they affording all these players? But I guess Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce and some other players restructured their deals to get some cap space. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, so the rich get richer at that point. Let me see here. I do have a ton of them. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The Lions plan to release cornerback Justin Coleman, another cap casualty. Former Ravens running back Mark Ingram reached a deal worth up to $3 million for the Houston Texans.
Interesting.
Mark Ingram is going to be on the Texans.
Did you see who else went to the Texans?
Who went to the Texans?
Quarterback. on a
Oh,
one-year deal. Tyrod Taylor.
Rod Taylor. I did see something about that.
That just makes me think like they're fully expecting Deshaun Watson to either A, hold out at least a good couple games,
Yeah,
or B, for them to trade him and roll with Tyrod
Rod
Taylor
Taylor.
for a year. Like, what if he goes to New England?
I mean, I did see a rumor today I was going to talk to you about like how since the Patriots have been so active, you guys do have draft picks that you could trade for Deshaun Watson because now Deshaun Watson looks at a team that's stacked now. Like you guys went out and got all these weapons. Maybe that was to entice Deshaun Watson.
Trade Cam Newton's ass to the Texans. I'm just kidding. But I thought about that today. I was like, think about that. If you're Cam Newton and you signed this deal, we could be like, yeah, okay. They believe in me.
It's like,
Give me
what
another
the
chance.
fuck?
Sorry, Cam, we got to trade you. Houston, we're trying to get Deshaun Watson. He's going to be in the future franchise.
Well, here's some information I do have here as well. Texans head coach David Culley talked to reporters and has asked if he can change Deshaun Watson's mind. He said, I don't know about him not wanting to be a Houston Texan, but from hearing the outside, I just know he's a Texan, he's ours, and we're going to go with that. Like every report coming out of the Texans, they're not budging from what they're saying. They're just
no.
like, we are refusing to let this dude go. You can make all the reports you want. He's not going anywhere, and I'm very intrigued to see how far this goes. So I mean, as of right now, it's not looking like Russ is going anywhere, at least this year.
Yeah, especially with Chicago signing Andy Dalton.
Oh my god, dude!
Even though it's a shit lateral move, but it means you realize you're not getting Russell Wilson. So,
and on top of Andy Dalton signing with Chicago, they are not likely bringing Mitchell Trubisky back. He's a free agent this year.
They declined his fifth-year option.
Exactly. So Mitchell Trubisky's not going to be there, it seems. So it's only Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. Like these two old veteran quarterbacks are going to be leading the Chicago Bears. Like I have no clue what is going on in Chicago right now.
It's another year of the same. They got Super Bowl caliber defense and no offense.
Just for being on Twitter the past couple hours since the Andy Daltons happened, Bears Twitter is in a frenzy. They are so mad right now. They are so mad right now.
Hey, I mean, it is what it is. Sorry.
It is what it is. I don't know. Maybe they're banking on something in the playoffs. I mean, not in the draft. Maybe they'll I don't know, trade up in the draft.
I'm hoping for their Justin Herbert.
Maybe. Lions released tight end Jesse James, the outlaw.
Yeah.
So Alex ever watches this podcast, there you go.
Alex,
of course,
comment on this video if you saw that.
Yeah, the outlaw. Of course, you already said Patriots finalized a 1-year deal up to $14 million for Cam Newton.
Oh yeah, that's one of the re-signings. I was gonna save the bombardment of that for my bias.
Gotcha. That was just the next thing on here.
But what Cam Newton, we could talk about. Cam Newton.
I think it was a smart idea. I think it was a smart choice.
I had to wear it another week in a row because I'm just really hype about the future right now, and I don't have any jerseys of the new. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that.
Yeah,
but I'm
Patriots
really happy that Cam Newton re-signed because I was telling you I would rather re-sign Cam Newton or get a young rookie quarterback out of the draft. I don't want to sign no free agent quarterback. I don't want to go out here and get no project quarterback. I wanted to get a rookie that we can homegrow, you know what I mean, or re-sign Cam Newton. Jarrett Stidham had the answer. Brian Hoyer is a free agent anyway. It is what it is. I'm just glad they went and made a decision type of like no matter what else happens throughout the draft and everything, we got Cam. You know. And
I guarantee you Cam will be able to do a lot more now. We'll talk about why later.
Right.
But they gave him what he has to succeed. So I mean if he can't succeed with what he's been given now, who might be time
right. Because he only got a 1 year. He only got a 1 year.
You can let him go and then he can test the market.
Right.
Speaking on the Texans, Texans and former Browns and Packers linebacker Christian Kirksey reached an agreement. 1-year contract worth $4.5 million.
A lot of movement, man.
A lot of movement. There's so much movement today. Not even today, the past couple days. Former Cowboys and Bears, Clinton Dix visited the Raiders. No, so he might be signing with the Raiders here soon. As we talked, Mitchell Trubisky's going to be signing somewhere else. I mean, they're letting him go for some reason, Chicago. Texans traded at linebacker Benardrick McKinney to the Dolphins for linebacker Shaq Lawson, which is pretty big. So the Texans have Shaq Lawson now. So Texans, even though they don't have much, they're still somewhat making like decent moves. They're trying.
They're definitely making all types of moves, but like I don't think they could do anything to keep Deshaun at this point.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see how that turns out. Because I mean, it could leak into the training camp and into the season.
Yeah,
might have to sit out some games.
Oh man, I don't want to interrupt nothing, but I just remembered out of nowhere. I have huge news. Okay, that I have told you a little bit.
Yeah,
but like I found something. I was cleaning my house and I found something the other day. Okay, sports related. Okay, it's over there, so I would have to get up and go get it. But like, it's a whole binder full of like mint condition sports cards, bro.
Oh my gosh.
There's like Bo Jackson cards in here. There's Jerry Rice cards in here. I have an entire sleeve of Kobe cards, which you saw already. That was found separately, but I put it in this binder. Like it's this entire binder full of them, and I'm just like, oh my god. I'm going through, looking through some of them. They're worth like $4 or $5 each, type of thing. So it's not like anything. Even the ones that I thought like, oh, this Bo Jackson. Let me see how much. $3.99 type. So it's nothing crazy. The Kobe cards, a couple of those could be worth hundreds to thousands if they're PSA 10s and stuff like that. But like, I'm regardless gonna hold on to them for a while here, and like it'd be awesome. Maybe I'll make a video, Squad Pod Sports, to show you like the dope cards that we got. You know, but
definitely like a face down video of just like going through and pointing them out, talking about them.
Look at these. They're so old too, man. So I just thought it was awesome. Like I said,
seeing that.
They're all in great condition, just like perfect. Like no, I don't know when the last time they've been touched or even unzipped. You know, other than when I just did it. But
that's awesome. That. You should definitely film that.
Right. Have that little video come soon. You can check out what I have.
Definitely do it. That'd be cool, man.
That's so random.
Oh no, but that's cool though. That's definitely related. Another big deal. What kind of surprised everybody was the Packers and Aaron Jones agreed to a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that Aaron Jones was going to be a goner. He was going to go sign somewhere else.
Because it seemed like, oh, they're going to franchise tag him. Oh, no, they're not going to franchise tag him. Oh, he's a free agent. Oh, they signed him. Like,
yep.
What the hell?
A 4-year, $48 million deal. So, I mean, it's like he took pay cut. He wants to be in Green Bay, man. Like, he wants to try to win there.
What's the guarantee on that? Does it say at all?
It did say on the report that I have.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah. So, I mean, that's going to be cool. I mean, they went to the conference championship 2 years in a row now. So, right. I mean, they're just on the edge.
It's going to probably either be them or Tampa Bay again, you know, unless Seattle can get their head out of their ass. But we'll see what happens. Green Bay's pretty much got that conference like where they know they're going to be one of the last 4 to 6 teams. By the end, you know.
Exactly. Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster has told teammates he's likely to sign elsewhere in free agency.
Yep.
So, I mean, as of right now, the wide receiver market has been, like, pretty dead. Like, none of the bigger wide receivers have really been taken. There's a couple that have been signed.
Curtis Samuel's still available.
Who?
Curtis Samuel.
Oh, Curtis Samuel, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of wide receivers that are still out there and available, but, like, it looks like all these other, like, linebacker positions, all these other, like, really, like, depth moves
Yeah,
are being made. Even tight ends. I mean, we'll talk about that. That's part
right.
of yours.
But the best with Kenny Galladay.
Galladay. Yeah.
I'm like, trying to say Galloway and Galladay at the same time, and my brain's like, bleh. But like, anyway, I was hearing like, how great would it be to see him on a team like Baltimore,
Oh,
like
yeah.
with Lamar just like having an actual number one wide receiver to take some pressure off of him and just be able to do what he needs to do, whether that be pass or run, man. I would love to see that. I think Kenny needs to go to like a team with a high
I
flying
think
offense.
Baltimore needs to do that. They should
Yeah.
definitely try to get at least one or two receivers. Or
Exactly.
let's get one, like, that could be the guy.
Even a Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. Trade with Chicago for Allen Robinson. Get Allen Robinson
Yeah.
to the Ravens or something.
Yeah, man, that would be real nice.
That
I
really-
could see Juju going to Chicago. For some reason, I could picture Juju Smith-Schuster in a Chicago jersey and just like being the mediocre wide receiver that he is.
Yeah, I told Alex last night, I was like, I know he wouldn't do it because it's divisional, but I could see him on the Bengals for some reason. I could just see him with Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Okay. I just
But it's like divisional.
like-
He wouldn't go there because of the Steelers and everything.
Speaking of the Bengals, I'm gonna put this image up on the screen here. Those jerseys, another version of those blue jerseys came out, and they are black. They
It was
are
just a
actually
light.
black. It was just the lighting, and they look sharp as hell, actually. So the new Bengals jerseys, like I said, I'm gonna put them on the screen here, but like they're black, all black, like pants and everything, and then all white as well. So like they look pretty nice.
I'll
They
take a
do
look.
look pretty
I
tight.
didn't see those.
But
I saw like
I
the
just wanted to address that.
nice. Cardinals
Last
signed
shit.
offensive linebacker Marcus Bolton to a 2-year deal.
Okay.
Just part of the many moves that have been made. Shaq Barrett and the Bucks agreed to a 4-year, $72 million,
Yeah.
$36
Huge
million guaranteed.
deal.
Huge deal.
They're trying to run it back, man.
They really are.
Tom Brady restructuring his deal and everything.
Yeah,
Chris
man.
Godwin get franchise
like-
tags.
Crazy shit. They out here like adding 3 years that aren't going to be even like used type of shit. Like, how you able to do that?
That's some shady Tom Brady shit right there.
How you gonna do that? Panthers signing former Browns first round pick O lineman Cam Irving. He also played for the Chiefs and the Cowgirls. A bunch here. Patriots. Texans wide receiver Andre Roberts agreed a 2-year deal. Andre Roberts was from the Bills.
Okay.
He signed with the Texans. So, I mean, Texans tried to make some moves.
Man, it doesn't matter. Sean's like, I'm out.
Texans also
Outta here.
stole linebacker Camus Grugier-Hill from the Eagles. Reunited with Nick
Doesn't
Caserio, who drafted him with the Patriots.
Yeah. That dude went to Houston to finagle a trade for Deshaun Watson to New England. Until I'm proven otherwise, that's what I'm going with.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Bill's like, you gotta
That's
go
what
over there.
Bill's
and get a
like.
job. Send some of the
Okay.
best players. Bill O'Brien already sent what? What's his name?
Bill O'Brien did some of his magic. You're next. You're next.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of wanting him, DeAndre Hopkins for myself, but he kind of traded him away before you could get there.
Brian Flores down there in Miami, signing Kyle Van Noy for all that money and then cutting him the next season to make him real cheap. So, like, Patriots like, oh, Kyle, you want to come back?
I haven't heard anything on Kyle Van Noy yet.
Me neither.
Possibly
neither.
from a story for tomorrow once free agency is open.
Yeah.
Paul Williams won't return to the Packers, so that's another like decent running back. That's
Oh.
gonna be open.
I didn't
gonna-
expect that.
Yeah, Jamal Williams, he's going to be he's a free agent now. So, I mean,
Okay.
look out for him. Joe Thuney signing with the Chiefs. Talked about that a little bit. Browns are getting former Rams safety John Johnson to a 3-year deal. John Johnson, I was kind of hoping the Eagles would scoop him, but he went real early in free agency.
Yeah.
But I was kind of hoping we would scoop him. Chargers are expected to sign All-Pro Corey Linsley. Makes him the NFL highest paid center.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. Former
Damn.
Cowboys defensive tackle Malik Collins reached an agreement to a 1-year deal worth up to $6 million with the Texans. It's another Texans deal.
I don't understand what they're doing, man.
The Broncos
win 3 games.
I know, right? I mean, I guess they're trying to build somewhat of a foundation to build upon over the next couple years if they could keep those guys. But
Trying to change the culture over there.
maybe trying to just just bring in whole new guys for the locker room, build up a new culture there.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos, talk about overpaying. The Broncos gave cornerback Ronald Darby a 3-year, $30 million deal with $19.5 million guaranteed.
Damn, bro.
Right? Like Ronald
That's your
Darby,
boy.
that is not that good. He played last year for the Washington No Names. He was okay, but he wasn't like a top corner or anything from what I remember.
Yeah.
Here's a big signing. Former Ravens linebacker Yannick Ngakoue reached an agreement, a 2-year deal worth $26 million with the Las Vegas Raiders.
I mean, I think it's a good signing for them, but for this dude, 4 different teams in 2 years, that's a lot.
A lot.
That's
I mean,
a lot.
he was trying to get out of Jacksonville like big time, and then they traded him. I wasn't expecting him to leave the Ravens though.
Yeah, I mean, he was on Minnesota also.
He got traded to Minnesota, and then they traded him to the Ravens. Yeah,
Right.
that is true. I forgot about he was on Minnesota. He was there for like half the year.
We'll see what happens with him, but like, I gotta see some consistency more or less. Like, it's just, it feels like at the end of the day, why are you switching teams so often? Like, what's wrong with it? What's
What's going on?
What's going on? Right. But I don't know.
Former Seahawks running back Carlos Hyde reached an agreement with the Jaguars, reuniting with Urban Meyer.
Nice. Buckeyes, baby.
Jaguars signing wide receiver Philip Dorsett. Jaguars have been very active in this free agency so far.
On the Patriots.
Yep. So, I mean, Urban Meyer, he's been pretty active so far. They've got a lot of deals done. They've had some linebackers signed. Former Titans wide receiver Corey Davis reached an agreement, a 3-year deal with the Jets. He's going to be going there. Titans are signing Steelers Bud Dupree to a multi-year deal, $16.5 million per year.
Scooped a little bit of that defense.
Yeah, I mean Bud Dupree, he's the man. He's a really good player.
Sorry, Steelers.
They've been losing players left and right, dude. Former Dolphins QB Ryan Fitzmagic reached an agreement with the Washington football team.
The Washington Fitzmagics.
The Washington Fitzmagics. That's what they should call them. And just have like a logo of just whenever he was standing at the podium with that chain and that beard and those aviators. Yeah, that's
exactly.
That should be the logo. Even when he retires, just keep his name.
Just his head. With those glasses on, just in that beard, just Washington Fitzmagics.
But yeah, I was not expecting him to sign with the Washington No Names. That was not a team I was expecting him to sign with.
Yeah, I mean, that's a team that knows that he's not going to be their quarterback in the future. But Ron Rivera is trying to see what he can do here, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see.
Until they can draft their guy.
Yeah, exactly.
They also have Heineke. They did give him a new deal.
They do have Heineke. It was weird to me because I thought they got rid of Alex Smith because he didn't fit the scheme or whatever. So I was like, it was kind of weird that they brought in another veteran QB if that's not what we're looking for. Or maybe they just like, fuck Alex Smith. Like, we don't.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera's like,
I think it was more of
I
that.
like Alex Smith.
Because I didn't know you were coming back.
I didn't think you were coming back. I thought you were gone.
I'm still in contract, right, Coach? You're like, who are
I
you?
went, player on free agency. They say, Ron, you can't. There ain't the money. I was like, what do you mean we ain't got no money? And they're like, well, Alex Smith's on. I was like, who the hell Alex Smith? He's still playing football.
He's still signed? Yeah, man. What are you talking about? He's coming back next week.
You haven't seen him in the weight room or working around in the locker room? He's like, I thought that was a janitor.
I wish Alex Smith the best, man. He
I
got
do too, man.
shit on dirty.
He hasn't been
dirty.
up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles tried to get him because they have been talking about trying to get a veteran backup for Hurts, and he does have some history with some of the coaches that the Eagles brought on too.
Okay.
So possibly, I haven't heard any news on him since he left the no names though.
Neither.
The Broncos exercised their option on pass rusher Von Miller, so he's going to be sticking around. Unlike what we talked about before, how we thought he was a goner. There are several teams inquiring about Patriots free agent running back James White, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are the biggest.
Oh, no.
Yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might be poaching James White.
Listen,
but the Patriots might
him,
be poaching Leonard Fournette because they're
going to call them the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay?
Tampa Bay now. That's what they're going to be going forward.
Yeah, at least for this season, they're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay?
That makes sense. We should do that. I'm fine with that.
Last year, it should have been Kansas City champs. Okay, that's what we should.
Just working champs with every Super.
If Baltimore wins, we'll figure something out. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it don't matter. Like, we're Philadelphia champions, something. You know, we'll figure it out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what they are right now. It's just because it works so perfectly.
Well, I mean,
I can't take credit for that. I heard that on the radio. I was like, that's fucking great.
I mean, looks like Tom Brady's trying to poach some Patriots players.
He's trying to do the same.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked like apparently the Patriots are very interested in trying to get Leonard Fournette from the Bucs. So I mean, that would be a great signing with what you guys already established.
Sonny Michel, Leonard Fournette. I would love to see that. Davey Harris. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Apparently, the Patriots have also been in contact with Chris Carson.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah,
he's getting up there. I would rather have Fournette, to be honest. Hopefully we sign Fournette over Carson, if either of them.
Yeah. The Jaguars, another move. They signed cornerback Shaquille Griffin to a 3-year deal. He came from the Seahawks.
Yeah, he wasn't out of a job very long.
Yeah, not at all. The Jaguars also signed Tyson Alualu from the Steelers. So that's another Steelers player, Alualu.
What nickname Alex has for him?
Yeah, he probably does have something. An interesting fact about the Jaguars have now spent $1.4 billion in free agency since 2011. In 10 years, they spent $1.4 billion, the most money in the NFL in that time, and they've lost nearly 75% of their games in that span. The worst percentage in the NFL, and they are now on their 5th head coach since then too.
How is that even possible?
Right? You spent the most money in free agency in 10 years, and you lost 75% of your games.
It's like a reverse Yankees situation. Like, what the hell? How did you let that happen? But, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Hopefully they could right the ship Urban down there.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see here. Texans, another signing. They signed former Patriots 3rd rounder Derek Rivers, defensive end. Was drafted when Nick Caserio was in New England. Caserio's like, I'm just going to pick up all the players that I drafted over there in New England. Cap casualty. Raiders are releasing Pro Bowl center Rodney Hudson, which is a very big drop because he just went to a Pro Bowl. He's one of the top O linemen.
They're losing all their O linemen.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're trying to do over there.
Derek Carr's like, help me.
Me.
And they're just like,
Oh no.
we'll figure something out for you, Derek. Don't you worry.
Cornerback Tremont Williams is retiring from the NFL. Giants twice franchised defensive lineman Leonard Williams. They reached an agreement on a 3-year deal, $63 million.
Okay.
And the Giants also signed wide receiver John Ross.
I saw that. 1-year deal.
Yeah, 1-year deal. Chiefs released Damian Williams. He last played for Kansas City's during the Super Bowl against the Niners. He opted out of last year.
Okay.
So, I mean, and then they're just like, nope, you're gone.
You know what? You're gone.
You're gone. Cap casualty. Matt Ryan restructured his deal. They gained $14 million in cap space. Andy Dalton, Tyrod Taylor signed with the Texans. The Jaguars expected to sign former Lions wide receiver Marvin Jones. He's going to be signing in Jacksonville. Miami Dolphins signed QB Jacoby Brissett. He's going to be back with Tua. I was kind of hoping the Eagles might have slid it on him, but nope.
Tua's not the answer.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm. He ain't the same as a Jalen Jalen Hurts or Kyler Murray. I
think so?
I feel like he had that hip surgery already. It's the same injury that ended Bo Jackson's career. He had it way earlier, type of thing. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know if he's the answer.
That's true, but I mean, modern medicine has advanced a lot since then too. So maybe they could save it. But yeah, I mean, I am inclined to believe you.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
It's very early.
Yeah.
I do have 2 more here, and that's it. Titans signed former Saints cornerback Janoris Jenkins. So the Titans boosted their defense a little bit more. And per source, the Buffalo Bills set to sign wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders.
I saw that as well just recently.
That was like right before we hopped on, pretty much.
Right.
So let me see. I did have a list of all the teams that didn't make a move. I could take the Bills off now. The Bucks technically haven't picked up anybody new. The Colts, the Eagles, the Falcons.
Y'all haven't made a single move?
Eagles haven't made a single move.
Oh, no.
A single move. The Colts haven't either. The Rams haven't. The Seahawks haven't. Packers haven't.
Man. It's because Patriots
I mean, the Eagles,
off.
literally just before we hopped on, it was announced that we're just under the cap now. So, I mean, I don't even think we had the money to do anything. But that's all the news I have that we wanted to save because, man, I don't know if do you want to save it for your bias bubble or you want to talk about it now?
We'll just save it for the bias bubble because it'd probably take a good chunk of time. Get to the NBA. All
right, yeah, we'll talk about the NBA a little bit here. Actually, before we talk about the NBA, I did have just a quick news thing. It doesn't involve the NFL. Where the hell was it? It involves the XFL and the CFL, the Canadian Football League. Apparently, they are joining forces.
I saw.
The XFL and CFL are discussing options for collaboration as they plan their return to the field. Talks are in early stages. In the meantime, XFL 2022 planning is on pause.
Yeah.
So it looks like they might be combining the leagues or joining forces to do something here.
Have a bunch of teams. Teams from both. Teams. That would be great for both leagues. It'd be like the AFL and the NFL immersion. And you know what I mean? That type of thing. It's great things have to start somewhere.
Yeah. Could be what the XFL needs to survive for the third time.
The CFL needs it to survive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hop into the NBA. I know you have your hot and nots here. What's been going on around the league, Vern?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got the usual suspects. Brooklyn Nets, as hot as ever, just tearing through the league, it seems. They're 9-1 over the last 10. They got 5 straight wins. We got Atlanta with 5 straight wins as well, who's been real hot. They have 7-3 over the last 10.
Damn.
Philadelphia is trying desperately to keep that top spot.
They
They're
really
half
are.
a game above. As of our recording here, they're half a game up on Brooklyn. They're on a 5-game winning streak as well, 8-2 over the last 10. Charlotte, who's been a great surprise this season. Michael Jordan's so happy.
He's so happy.
They're in the 5th seed right now, man.
Yeah, I might have did something right for once as a GM, as an owner.
And he's got a team when he's first year in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's got a team that he owns in that shit too. It's a great year for Michael Jordan. Great year to be Michael Jordan. But anyway, they're on a 4-game winning streak, 7-3 over the last 10.
Yeah.
They're the team right above them in the 4th slot there, Miami.
Yeah.
They're on a 4-game winning streak as well. Oh, actually, 5-game winning streak. They must have just won another game tonight, so they'll be up there with the Nets, Atlanta, and Philly. 5-game winning streak for them. 9-1 over the last 10 for Miami. Surging back into this conversation here.
Yeah, man. Miami has been on such a tear. Jimmy Butler, I saw his stats. They're like amazing the past 5 games, dude. He's been averaging like over 25 and like 9-5 or something, dude. It's been wild.
It's been great. It's been great to see. But then rounded out here with Milwaukee on a 4-game winning streak as well. They've been 9-1 over the last 10, so they have kind of come back up here.
Yeah,
those top 5 teams in the East there.
Yeah,
all of them
I see that Miami, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn are all 9-1 in their last 10. Like these, like holy hell, the East right now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean, man. None of these teams were on my hot list from the West. I do have some honorable mentions here.
Yeah,
Phoenix has been 8-2 over the last 10. They only on a 1-game winning streak.
Yeah,
but and then Denver has been 7-3 over the last 10 as well. So there's some teams out there that are kind of doing their thing, but they're not streaking the way these teams in the East are streaking right now.
Yeah.
Flipping sides. A team that's been on here for 4 straight podcasts.
Oh man,
they have not won a game since episode 29.
Nope.
Houston is on a 16-game losing streak, 0-10 over the last 10. I don't know when to win a game, to be honest with you. I didn't think the streak was going to go this long. This is crazy to me.
Who knew that James Harden leaving the Rockets would demolish them?
Anyway, who knew that he was the literal only thing keeping them together?
Yeah, he was the support.
Orlando, second on this not list with an 8-game losing streak, 2-8 over the last 10. Toronto slipping further and further on a 5-game losing streak, 3-7 over the last 10.
Jeez.
Detroit, not so surprising. They're the worst team in the league, aren't they? Besides Minnesota, they're on a 2-game
Minnesota is technically the worst in the league right now.
They're on a 4-game losing streak, 2-8 over the last 10. Washington kind of slumping again, 4-game losing streak, 3 out of 7, or 3-7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then honorable mention for this, even though they're on a 1-game winning streak, I'm putting Minnesota on this list because they are terrible. They're terrible.
My Bulls are like right in the middle of everybody. We're just mediocre.
Yeah, you are.
We're so mediocre right now.
6-4. You're not on the hot list. You're not on the not list. So you guys are right where you need to be.
Right in the middle of the league. We're not bad. We're not good.
Same with my Lakers right now. We're good, but like we're not on the hot list. We're on a 2-game winning streak, but we're not on the not list either. Which we're getting close with the 4-6 over the last 10. So
yeah.
We news on the Lakers. It's so good right now. We're just trying to skirt through the regular season, make the playoffs.
I saw that Anthony Davis could be out 3 more weeks, possibly longer.
At least 3 more weeks. And then we also have Jared Dudley, who is going to he opted to not get surgery, but he is going to probably be rehabbing until at least the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw that.
Caruso was dealing with a concussion, and Marc Gasol was not playing. So it's a lot of injuries right now, but LeBron is trying. LeBron's trying to do everything he can.
Trying to do it all himself.
Still in that 3rd seed in the West, so just keep it going. As long as we're ahead of the Clippers, I'm okay.
I saw the Spurs and LaMarcus Aldridge have mutually agreed to part ways.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like LaMarcus Aldridge is looking for a new home. I'm expecting him to go to like the Lakers or the Nets or like one of these like top teams, like
Right.
Clippers, possibly. Who knows?
Honestly, I expect Drummond to be on the Lakers eventually, but the
Yeah.
problem is the amount of money that he is making. Like he would need to come to some type of buyout or a three-team trade or something
Apparently
like that.
they're looking for a second round pick to trade him. Like
Yeah.
they want like a high pick for him. I did see that your Lakers are reportedly having interest in bringing back JaVale McGee though.
That would be nice. I'd be okay with that. That'd be great to me. Just because we need that big man presence again. We lost Dwight Howard and McGee.
Exactly. A little bit of good news in the NBA. After undergoing surgery to remove a small mass on his left kidney in late January, Caris LeVert made his Indiana Pacers debut against Phoenix on Saturday. So it was nice to see him back out on the court.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That trade might have saved them.
Yeah. Definitely. I think it did.
James Harden, vicariously, he ended up saving his life.
He's like, something ain't right.
Hold up.
He's like, I gotta trade this boy to save this boy. The trade wasn't about me.
He said that at his press conference. The trade wasn't about me. All right. It was about that boy.
It was about that
getting
boy.
him the help he needed. Okay.
How did you know this? Don't ask me. No more questions. Next question. Speaking of LeBron, though, when we talked about him, apparently he is set to become part owner of the Boston Red Sox.
Hell yeah, I saw that.
I saw that.
He's trying to become billionaire. Bees. Multiple bees.
Multiple bees. Go back to bad news. The Kings' Marvin Bagley III has suffered a fractured left hand.
Oh.
He gonna be out for a minute.
Oh yeah. Need your head to play basketball. God damn it.
Back to good news. You know, we give you bad news, good news, bad news, good news. Portland Trailblazers guard CJ McCollum made his debut tonight. He's gonna make his debut. So
hell yeah.
The Trailblazers will be back pretty much at full strength. I mean, they've been winning games without him, so I'm sure it's going to take a game or two to get him back in the rhythm. But man, that's definitely a big help.
Great. That's great for them because they really need it. This is a good time of season for them to kind of go. All-Star breaks past, This is ramp up time. I mean, we're still a good chunk of season away, but like it's what 50 games in, 40 some games in.
Yeah,
it's a little bit over halfway. Portland's chilling in the sixth seed. They're only 6.5 games out of the first spot, so Portland could definitely have a great run here to go to close out the season and see where they could end up in this as far as playoff seeding.
Absolutely. I did have something else here as well. Multiple contenders are showing interest in Avery Bradley, so I'm guessing the Lakers or Nets.
Hey, we had him at one point.
Yeah.
I would be cool to have a little reunion with that. He was killing it from the line, man.
He was. Portland and Minnesota have shown trade interest in Aaron Gordon from the Magic. Man, if he goes to Portland, that could be a nice piece that Portland's missing.
That would be amazing for them.
Yeah.
High flyer like that dude, man.
Yeah, they need someone like him.
They have Dame just throw him lobs.
Yeah. The Celtics have interest in John Collins from Atlanta. The asking price is a high-level first-round draft pick, though, or a talented young player.
Yeah.
So who knows if they're going to bite on that one or not.
Got a couple more days of this trade deadline.
Yeah.
Start seeing some moves.
Yep. That's all the NBA news I have, though. But we ran through your hot and nuts. I didn't really see anything else crazy in the NBA.
Right, me neither. Other than just the usual, like you got your random news, like LeBron buying the Red Sox, stuff like that. Trade deadline's creeping up, so nothing crazy has been happening. We've been getting rumors and stuff like that, but we will probably have
so far.
Right, but I'm sure we'll have something crazy to talk about by the next podcast here.
I'm sure. But we do have some March Madness stuff to talk about here.
Oh yeah,
basketball.
Ready for this tournament. I haven't been paying like a ton of attention to the college basketball season this year, and it's because it's really been it felt like an off year. Even though my Buckeyes doing great, it really has felt like an off year. I'm really proud of the fact that the Big Ten has so many teams in the tournament. It's great. Like with the ACC having a down year this year, you got no Kansas, no Kentucky, no Duke, stuff like that. Like
I was gonna say I have Kansas withdrew due to COVID.
Yeah,
due to positive. Duke had to withdraw to the same thing. So I mean,
you've got a very light ACC conference this year, so it gave room for the Big 12 and the Big 10 to just fire off. Like, so it was great to see how many Big 10 teams made it in there. Michigan, we have 2 number 1 seeds this year, man. We have Michigan and Illinois are both 1 seeds. Buckeyes got a 2 seed. So it's great. Great time to be a Big 10 fan. But I'm really looking forward to this tournament. I already made a couple brackets.
Nice.
I can't wait to see what happens here. Can't wait to come on here next week and be like, bracket busted. Do that already. But it is what it is. It's always fun to do every year.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been paying attention to it as much this year as I have been the past couple, like looking to see who the best teams are going in. I've been giving it a little bit more attention past couple days because I know like Ohio State, like what you said. So I do follow Ohio State and Michigan because Alex is a Michigan fan. But I do like, because Pat McAfee talks about it too as well. I'm not super huge on the college football basketball scene, but I definitely want to try to get into it a little bit more so I can fill out some brackets.
Man, this time of year is great too because it's like game after game after game after game after game after game for like the first round or two. Like, there's just like it feels like the first couple rounds of NBA basketball playoffs, like where you got 4 games on a day. Like I love that feeling where you're just like, yes.
You turn TV on, there's gonna be basketball.
And it's gonna be good basketball. It's playoff basketball at the end of the day. Single elimination. And these kids are just playing their hearts out, man, for 2 halves. I love watching it. All the different locations that they're at every year. Usually there's like 4 different locations. I think they're all in one spot this year.
Yeah, I think they're in Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, that's usually where the finals are. But this year, I think they're all chilling there. But it's great to watch it every year. I've been watching March Madness since I've been a sports fan, pretty much, like at least in some capacity.
I usually watch a couple games each year.
I remember being in the hospital with when my son was born, and like her being nice enough to like let me watch a couple games, like just here and there, you know what I mean, or like wanting to tune into a little bit in between whatever she was watching. Like, but hey, my son was born in March. March Madness, what you want from me? You know what I mean? But but I'm looking forward to the tournament here.
Nice. I mean, I don't have any news. We kind of talked about some of the teams that have had to withdraw just because of COVID. You know, it wasn't even necessarily that they were knocked out; they just aren't able to compete as of right now.
And then there is some bubble teams where like teams have until like tomorrow, or by the time of this recording, I'm not sure when the date will, but like to withdraw, and there's a couple teams that are slotted to take their place in said case, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't really have too much else as far as any other news, just kind of my bias bubble and then the sports fact.
Okay. I could talk about just a little bit of hockey. But we talked about how ESPN signed a huge deal with the NHL last week. A little bit more specifics. It's going to be on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. So that's what NHL is going to be like. They did have a breakdown of where it's going to be. I didn't have the actual breakdown. But it's been 17 years since the NHL has been on ESPN, like exclusively.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes me wonder, like with this new NFL TV deal, what type of streaming services are going to be getting NFL deals?
Yeah, because I mean, apparently Amazon's even in big. Like, they want more than just the Thursday night game. They want to actually have other night, like Monday night games, Thursday nights, and maybe Sunday games. So who knows?
I didn't think about the streaming aspect until you were talking about Hulu and the NHL there. Very interesting.
Yeah, so who knows in the next couple of years what like sports will be on where, I feel like they should be on streaming apps. So it's a little
They
easier.
really should.
Like some people only can have cable, and that's how they access sports. I mean, some sports you can only get with cable too.
Yeah.
'Cause I know I gotta sign on the Xfinity stuff sometimes to get to some like
Just to
NFL
watch some
games.
stuff. And then even still, if you're not on the home Wi-Fi, you can't watch some stuff.
Yeah, or it's like
Yeah.
or like if there's a blackout for one of the games and it's only
Right.
like localized or something.
Get rid of cable. We need to get rid of that stupid cable. It's archaic.
Yeah, all streamed.
Put sports on streaming services, please. All sports.
Just make
Hulu has live sports.
NFL should just make like an NFL app for $15 a month of the NFL season, and you get all the games.
Oh my God. Take my money, please.
Right.
Like, I'm way more willing. If you tell me NFL Sunday ticket, even if it's the same price as $15 a month, if you tell me that I get NFL Sunday ticket for 10, 15 bucks a month, I'm going to give you 10, 15
NFL
bucks
should
a
just
month.
release their own streaming service and pay like, hey, you pay $15 a month or this crazy price for a year. You can get every NFL content. You get like the 30 for 30s, all the documentaries, and then all the games.
Every Sunday, Thursday,
every
and
Sunday.
Monday.
But I understand they want their like TV deals. That's how they
True.
make a lot of their money, advertisements and shit. But I feel like I don't know. I
For
feel
the
like that would
longest
be,
time,
like that's
though.
just wishful thinking. It's like hop on one app and you can get every single game. That would be amazing.
Right. But we'll see what happens. They're yet to announce any type of like details on it.
Yeah. I mean, just a quick getting back to what we were talking about, the NHL. Not any really crazy news, of course. Just a little breakdown of what's been happening. The Central Division, Florida and the Hurricanes, man, they've been fighting for the top spot there. Let me see. The Hurricanes are 8-2 in their last 10. So I mean, they have been dominating here. Tampa Bay is 7-2 in their last 10. Florida is on a 4-game win streak here. So I mean,
Okay.
they've been going pretty well. In the East, Washington has got the number 1 seed. The Islanders, though, they have been on a tear, dude. They are 9-1 in their last 10. The Islanders
Damn.
they're really good right now. Washington also, who has the number 1 seed, they're 9-1 in their last 10 as well. So I mean, the
Got
East
some teams that are killing it right now.
dude, and it's the worst time for the Flyers to be going through their struggles right now. Because in that division, you got Washington and New York who have been playing great. The Penguins, who are starting to pick it up, they're 7-3 in their last 10. And then you got Boston, who are 4-4-2.
We ended up beating the Penguins tonight. Lost to them Monday night, but beat them on Tuesday night here.
And that really helped you guys out. Because you guys are 3 points behind Pittsburgh, and then we're 3 points behind Boston. So I mean, and the way the playoffs are going to work, it's the first 4 seeds of each division. So I mean, we are just outside of that 4. So I mean, we got to catch up with like Boston and Pittsburgh, because I don't think we're catching in Washington right now. So I mean, we kind of let ourselves slip. It didn't help that we had players going through COVID protocol either. So that kind of
It's
made
like
it worse.
unpredictable stuff.
Exactly. In the North Division, you got Toronto, who has the number 1 seed still. Even though in their last 10 games they're 5-5, they're on a 2-game losing streak here lately. Winnipeg, they're 6-3 in their last 10. There's pretty much that North Division hasn't really changed much. At least the top 3 seeds. In the West, that one really hasn't changed much either. You got the Golden Knights with the number 1. They've just been doing what they do. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Like the Golden Knights, since they came into the league, just been, the number 1 seed in their division.
Every time you talk about it, it just seems like they're just the best. Like, they're not the best in the league necessarily, but they're consistently great.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got the Minnesota Wild right behind them. They're 7-2. They're on a 5-game win streak. And then you got Colorado, who are 7-2 in their last 10. All 3 of those teams are like competitors. They're definitely in contention for the cup. But I mean, it's kind of in the same point as the NBA is as of right now. They're just over halfway through their season, pretty much. It's coming down to the wire here where they're going to be fighting for playoff spots. And
Jogging for position.
I'm a little worried about the Flyers as of right now. We started off hot this season. Now it's not looking so hot.
Right.
But I mean, the trade deadline's coming up. Maybe they can make a trade or two here.
Make some moves, try to just get in a better position for the
Yeah,
playoff
they need
push.
something on. Like their defense is so bad right now. That's the reason. Like we're able to get score goals, and then they end up blowing the lead, and then that's
Yeah.
what they end up losing. They literally blow the lead almost every time.
Like the Warriors.
Yeah, like the Warriors, man, or the Falcons. I did have, other than hockey, I did have two other just random sports things that happened. Tiger Woods partnered up with 2K for a long-term partnership to bring PGA Tour 2K to life.
Finally, we get Tiger Woods back. I've been playing the golf club for years now, and I hate it. But I play it because it's the only golf game that's half decent anymore. But I do hate this shit. I do. It's not
I'm actually planning on buying that when it comes out, dude. I would love to play that.
Because I've been asking you guys to buy some type of golf game for a while now.
You said Tiger 2K. I'm in.
Tiger Woods, 2K. You took EA out of the equation. This game is about to be dope as shit. Even though, like, to their defense, 2K is making the current PGA game, which is it's all right, but it's like the same formula as the golf club. Just 2K owns it now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I hope it's a good game.
DeChambeau and crack it like 400 yards.
Bro, that dude's a monster.
That dude's yoked too. The other bit of news I have here is it's a little crazy. There will be no Messi or Ronaldo in the Champions League quarterfinals for the first time in 16 years.
Damn, I actually saw that a couple days ago. Those two are staples in the football.
Football. Yeah, finals, I know it's pretty crazy because I've never really paid. I've been paying attention to soccer more this year just because I've been betting soccer. So I actually have a little bit more I can kind of know what I get the difference between the leagues. There's so many different leagues within soccer. It's crazy. But I mean, obviously, since I don't know much about soccer, I do know who Ronaldo and Messi are though. Those are dudes, those are the household names.
My son's got a Ronaldo jersey, and I don't think he knows anything about soccer. He has a Ronaldo Jeep jersey.
Those household names. Mm-hmm. It's what was it? Pele, David Beckham, and their names. But I thought that was crazy. 16 years without now, neither of them are in the quarterfinals. That's pretty wild.
New day.
But yeah, that's all the news I have. But we didn't talk about the big news, which we're going to get to here in your bias bubble, Vern. You guys have
wildness.
The new New England Patriots.
We are the new New England Patriots now, okay? That's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it. I didn't think about it like that. And listen, I know this is just the day after all of this shit, so anything could happen. But on paper, this is looking like 2012 Eagles, baby. Dream team, baby. Let's go. Let's get Michael Vick. Let's get Namdi Squad. Let's get all these. Let's go. It's been exciting to see Bill Belichick spending the way he is spending right now. I'm just going to go over the list real quick of the free agents we've signed and then the pieces that we have re-signed to just bring back here. Linebacker Matthew Judon threw a 4-year, $56 million contract at him. Tight end Jonnu Smith, 4-year, $50 million deal.
He's the third highest paid tight end in the NFL now, behind George Kittle and Travis Kelce.
Those are think about those names,
Yeah.
Took your boy Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin.
About that too, by the way.
I don't know what he's gonna do. You think he's gonna dye his hair red or blue?
I actually have a status about that because he was asked and he tweeted about it. And you know what he said? He came out and I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty much what he said. He said, Superman fights crime all over the world and he doesn't change the color of his cape. So he's going to keep it green, I guess.
okay. Until someone gets on his ass about that shit.
That's what he posted out on Twitter this morning. I saw it and I was like, wow.
You ain't Superman. You got a 4-year, $24 million deal.
Sad, though, because like that dude is like he bleeds Philly, and I never thought that. I never even gave it a thought that he was gonna leave in free agency. Bills are coming back next year, and then boom, bombshell, and I was like I was so salty at first. I was like, this motherfucker went to the Patriots. What the? Why?
Why?
Up there, he doesn't want to go through a rebuild with us. I guess. I mean,
yeah.
Wants to play under Bill Belichick too, which makes sense. But I mean, good for him. I wish him the best of luck. Right. Unlike the other that you picked up,
Nelson Aguilar.
2-year,
$26 million deal. Okay. Now, if you're telling me we're getting 2019 Nelson Aguilar, I'm not very happy. But if we get 2020 Nelson Aguilar, that's not a bad number.
2017 Nelson Aguilar, he was really good on the Super.
Man. Like, let's get show him. I don't know, man. I really hope he can play to his ability, the best of his ability.
I hate on Nelson Aguilar, but I mean he did help bring the Super Bowl. But I think honestly, he's going to be a really good piece for you guys, especially because he balled out last year for the Raiders. Mm-hmm. I think under that offense, I think Nelson Aguilar will be really nice. I think it was just Philly that got to him. He had the yips.
Especially, we also signed Kendrick Bourne to a 3-year, $22 million deal from San Fran. Bro,
here's some money. I've never seen it. I know.
Devon Godchwood. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Defensive tackle. 2-year, $16 million deal. Tight end Hunter Henry. Yep. Why? I don't know. I mean,
I woke up this morning.
Yeah, they're gonna start running this 2 tight end set again, like you were saying with the Gronk and Hernandez.
And you know what's even crazier about that is Hunter Henry is the 4th highest paid tight end. So you got the 3rd and the 4th highest paid tight ends in the league.
Gave him $37.5 million over a 3-year deal.
$25 million guaranteed.
So
you guys, I've never seen the Patriots throw out money like this towards players. Usually when players want money, Bill ships them out of town.
Right. And that's why, even whenever we paid Gilmore, I was so surprised. But re-signed a bunch of players and acquired one through trade with Trent Brown, offensive lineman, scooped him through a trade. Re-signed defensive lineman Carl Davis. Re-signed defensive lineman Dietrich Wise Jr., who, man, he's a beast, man. He's one of my favorites on defense there. Along with Justin Bethel. I'm glad we re-signed him as well, defensive back. Of course, quarterback Cam Newton re-signed to a 1-year deal. Tim Cam. Did talk about how we lost Joe Thuney to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Lost safety Terrence Brooks to Houston. And offensive tackle Marcus Cannon, the dude that looks like Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
He's gone. He left. Yep, he's gone. We don't got Uncle Phil no more. But on paper, it looks like they're we didn't even start talking about all the opt-ins, all the people that were coming back from last year, the Dante Hightowers, like the Patrick Chungs, people like that. We still have McCourty on our squad. I don't know about his brother. He's a free agent, Jason, but we still have Devin. Man, Bill Belichick is pissed. He's Game 6, LeBron in Miami pissed right now. He's ready.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
And he's like, call it for Tom, because he's coming for him. He's coming for the head like Thanos.
The Patriots really have only spent $53 million in guaranteed money over the past 3 off seasons, and they've already spent $52 million in guaranteed money this off season. So in just one off season, they surpassed what they've done the past 3, which is wild. I do have another little fact about your Patriots. In less than 24 hours, the Patriots have guaranteed over $137 million, placing them the second in the NFL history for the most guaranteed money in a free agent signing period. The record could be theirs before free agency officially begins at 5 p.m. Wednesday. Now, the most guaranteed money spent in free agency, they have the past 5 teams. The 2020 Dolphins, they spent $147 million, missed the playoffs. 2019 Jets, 131 million, missed the playoffs. 2016 Giants, 107 million. They lost in the wild card. 2018 Bears, 102 million, lost in the wild card. 28 missed the playoffs at 100 million.
That's not a good trend. Why'd you have to bring that up? Why'd you have to tell me this? I didn't even know that.
Did that, and I thought it was a pretty interesting fact.
All right, well, that just reminds me of whatever you're talking about. Jacksonville spending $1.4 billion and being the worst team over the last 10 years. So spending money in the NFL doesn't necessarily equate to success.
None of those teams had Bill Belichick either, though.
You're right, but that's not a good trend. I would like to see it broken.
You guys went like 7-9 with the team you had last season. You guys can at least get 10 wins with this team.
There were people talking about any other head coach would have probably won 3 to 4 games with that squad last year.
No doubt.
Belichick squeaked out 7 wins.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I fully agree with you. I don't think any other really head coach would have been able to do that.
But it's a lot, but that's pretty much all the, like I say it like it's nothing, but like that's all the news I got out of New England for
team and a half.
Hey. Julian Edelman coming back healthy. See what happens in the draft. I think we gotta trade Stephon Gilmore. Imagine we trade Gilmore and some picks for Deshaun.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be Deshaun, but I guarantee you guys aren't done. I think you guys are gonna keep making trades, maybe signing free agents.
Trade up in the draft to get a Zach Moss or something like that. Justin Fields. Man, I am very happy to see a new Bill Belichick. He's like, final chapter, do what I want. You know what I mean? Like he's like just try to get like The Last Dance with Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? He's just he's going for it, man, and I love to see it. As far as the Lakers, we talked a lot about the
That's what Bill was saving up for with all that money from the opt-outs and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's like, we'll be okay. We got a new TV deal coming, but don't really have much on the Lakers. You hit most of what I was gonna cover as far as like LeBron getting that partial ownership of the Red Sox now. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I did have how we're third, just kind of moving it along. I talked about the Jared Dudley surgery. He opted to not get surgery, and then you hit on Anthony Davis being reevaluated, and now they said about 3 more weeks before he could even be reevaluated again after that type of thing. So
it must have been like more serious than they thought, or else they're just being very cautious with it.
I hope they're just being. It's either it's more serious than they thought, it's not healing the way they thought, or as quickly as they thought, or they're being very cautious regardless. So either way, as long as you're not shutting him down for the season, until we hear that, I'm optimistic about him playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The longer you held him out, the more time he's got to heal anyway. So
yeah, that's
don't
true.
rush him back.
That's
about it for me, though. What you got?
Let me take a look here. Just some things here. Doug Peterson has done his first interview.
Oh,
that was released today, as of this morning. He's done his first interview since
TMZ.
No, it was actually with one of the Philly beat writers. It was with his son, actually, because his son's going into the draft this year.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They asked him about like his thoughts on Philly or whatever, and he really came out and said that all the reports about the tension between him and Carson are false. He was saying that he really wishes Carson the best. He hopes he succeeds over there in Indianapolis, and he just says that he doesn't regret pretty much anything. He's glad he fought for his coaches, because it came down to pretty much, like we talked about before, how Doug Peterson wanted to pretty much promote his coaches from within going into the next season. And
exactly.
weren't about it. They just didn't like the way his direction he was going in. So I mean, he pretty much says that like he doesn't regret anything. He wanted to stick up for his coaches. He's glad he fought for them, but he doesn't regret anything because he got to bring a Super Bowl to Philadelphia. I mean, it was cool. I mean, just watching the interview, he looked so happy. Like he looked like he was so stress free. So like it's
relaxed.
So relaxed now. He's just enjoying it. So I mean, it's cool to see. And it's nice to see from him that like there was no animosity or anything. There was no tension between him and Carson. At least that's what he says. I mean, maybe they're
Right.
just keep it in house. But I mean, he wished him well. He thinks that Jalen Hurts is going to be a very great piece and building piece for Philadelphia going forward. He thinks that he could be the future, which is cool. Another thing, Jason Avant, he's the man. He was interviewed and he was talking about Travis Fulgham, who had a great stretch this season for us.
Yeah, the young bull, the young wide receiver you got.
Yeah, and he pretty much said, we as an organization stunted Travis's growth. Pretty much because after those 4 or 5 games that he balled out, they pretty much went with who they were paying at that point. They weren't going with option on the field. They were putting, soon as Alshon was healthy, they replaced Travis with Alshon because he was getting paid. He was the veteran, all this. It was the same thing with Jordan Mailata and Nate Herbig. Those guys were balling out, and as soon as like Jason Peters was healthy, and as soon as the other dude was healthy, they took him out the game. They didn't let him build. They didn't let him, evolve their game.
Let's see what happens this year if they give them some more time,
Decision to sit and not let young guys play and develop due to money was asinine, he says.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I've been saying the whole season. It was like all these that were out that should have been out here playing, like Andre Dillard, who's not Andre Dillard, but Jordan Mailata. He was amazing at left tackle, and I think he could beat Andre Dillard for that starting left tackle job going into this season. Right. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Another little tidbit here, with the Chiefs' release of offensive tackle Eric Fisher, the Eagles' offensive tackle Lane Johnson is the only player taken in the first round of the 2013 draft, still with the team that drafted him.
Damn. 2013 draft, you said?
Yeah, Lane Johnson's the only person that was drafted then that's still with their same team.
Right. That's cool, though. He just resigned, right?
I think he just restructured his contract.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
Another cool bit of news, there was actually videos that came out with this. Jalen Hurts was working out with Jalen Reagor, Greg Ward, Quez Watkins, John Hightower, and surprisingly Nelson Aguilar. They were all practicing together this past week.
Hey. You're on a different squad now. All right. We handle things a little bit differently up in New England. Okay.
I thought that was very, very intriguing that he was practicing with Nelson Aguilar. Travis Fulgham would have been there, but he had a minor ankle procedure recently and he couldn't be there.
Gotcha.
But it's nice to see Jalen Hurts working out with all of the Eagles receivers pretty much.
Yeah. Trying to just build that rapport with them.
Exactly. And what else is interesting, the same facility they were practicing at, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith were all there too. So it's like they were grooming one of them. I'm hoping one of them goes to the Eagles.
Devontae Smith, man, that's the best option. I'm telling you.
Either Devontae or Jamar Chase, man. One of those.
Devontae, he's a monster.
But that makes me excited. I can't wait for the draft. Hopefully, I'm not disappointed. The Eagles and defensive end Brandon Graham worked out a contract extension with help with cap space. It's likely a 1-year extension that would be a 2020, and he would be a 2022 free agent. They can rearrange Graham's 17 mil cap hit and 13 mil salary while likely adding new money to it over time. And the biggest news that came out here today, the Eagles gave Zach Ertz permission to seek out his own trade.
Yeah.
And
like,
I'm wearing Zach Ertz's jersey right now and this is a big hairy but. Even though
I've never heard that before. Go ahead, sorry.
The Eagles do have to approve any of the trades that he comes up with. They just gave him and his agent free reign to contact teams and possibly figure something out. But if it's not to the Eagles' liking, they can decline it. And it seems like the Eagles are looking for a second or third rounder at least for him this year. But another report also said Zach Ertz is willing to play this year on his current deal. If the Eagles can't find reasonable trade value, there's absolutely no reason to cut him and not let him play another year with Jalen Hurts. So, I mean, it seems like if the Eagles aren't happy with any deals that they bring to him, they're fine with letting him play, and he's fine with playing on the last year of his deal, and then he'd actually be a free agent next year.
I mean, I would love to see him stick with them, but he is aging. You still have Goddard. Like, I don't see why.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, I would rather us trade him now, at least get something for him, than let him walk.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. And another little interesting tidbit that helped the Eagles get under cap, because now the Eagles are officially under the cap now. Marquise Goodwin, who we signed before the season who we traded the 49ers to get before the season, he opted out of the 2020 season. Now, since he didn't play for the Eagles after the trade, there was a clause in the trade that now Marquise Goodwin has reverted back to the 49ers.
What?
Yeah, this is like, I have never seen it. A lot of other people have never seen this. But since he never played it down for the Eagles and he opted out of last year, Marquise Goodwin has now reverted back to the 49ers.
There's nothing y'all could do about it?
No. I mean, from the Eagles' terms of trade made last year, this will likely be a procedural move, as it's unlikely Goodwin fits into San Fran's wide receiver plans. But yeah, that not only did he revert back, but it cleared all that money off of the Eagles' books for no cost to the Eagles at all.
Yo, your new head coach is like sitting there. This is your new head coach one morning, like at his desk, doing his thing. Gets this phone call and tells him about this. He's like, "Oh yeah, this shit's wild, bro."
Literally like an hour before we hopped on here, and I was like, I have never seen that before, and like all the other like comments are like, this is so weird. But yeah, since he didn't play for us due to like some clause in the contract in the trade agreement, that like since he never played it down for us, it reverted back to the 49ers. So now I guess he technically is on the 49ers, or technically
a free agent after
they have his contract. So yeah, technically too, if he is a free agent, he can re-sign with the Eagles for a lower value, and they didn't have to pay that initial contract. So maybe it'll work out for the Eagles if they decide to bring him back, but who knows? I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, the Eagles are officially. I'm not expecting them to really do anything here at all. I mean, if they do, I'm expecting them to get into like the second or third wave of free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them getting any crazy free agents or anything like that. I think they'll only just get some dudes for depth. Get some out of
skirt through the next season here.
Yeah, unless they actually end up planning on making trades, unless they actually end up trading, Zach Ertz, if they end up planning on trading Fletcher Cox, because that was rumored eventually at one point. Like, who knows? Just to get some money off and maybe get some value back while they can. Who knows, man? It's certainly our bet is certainly leading your way right now between who could be the next Super Bowl winner. It's leaning toward.
Oh yeah,
I'm
liking that bet right now.
Are almost rebuilt. So who knows?
They're working on it, man. They're working on it, but like I said, like I started it with, it resembles a dream team that we've already seen flash and burn, so it's not going to be super surprising in a sense if the same happens, if they aren't quite the team that we think their potential leads them to be,
So,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's all the Eagles news I have here. Maybe we'll get some more by the next week, but we'll definitely have a ton of other NFL news by next week.
Oh, yeah.
The Bulls, they're just fighting for a playoff spot. They're a couple games back from that 8 seed now. They're just out of there. I think they're 2 games back. No real news on them. They just need to start playing a little better. They're now on a 2-game win streak, which helps. Flyers, they just got a win the other night, but their defense is horrible. Hopefully they can get a trade going here soon to help out.
Right.
But other than that, that's all I have. There's only one thing left to do here for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Stat fact of the podcast.
Yo.
We're sticking with the NFL. For one wide receiver to break Jerry Rice's career records for catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, they would need to play for 15 years and average 103 catches, 1,500 yards, and 12 touchdowns per season.
God damn. That tells you how good that dude was, man. He was the best. I don't care anybody says, he's the best wide receiver ever.
Ever. Per season, bro, they would have to average 103 catches, 1,526 yards, and 12 touchdowns per season.
God damn. That's insane to me. But it doesn't surprise me whenever you put stats like that up against like Jerry Rice's Dave, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that definitely proves who like people always talk about, like Megatron or any of these other wide receivers. Great wide receivers, but nobody's Jerry Rice.
Right. Exactly. At the end of the day, it ain't Jerry Rice. Even a Randy Moss or a T.O., like whenever you talk about the greatest wide receivers of all time, you put Jerry Rice in his own category, and then you start.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
T.O.
Randy Moss, T.O., or T.O., Randy Moss, however you want to.
Exactly.
Chad Johnson, like shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like players that set the bar, like one way or another.
Yep. But that's all I have, man. It has been definitely a eventful episode. I'm sure next week is going to be just as eventful going forward.
Next week, I feel we're starting to get some real NBA news.
Yeah, definitely, and coming closer to the trade deadline here.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check us out every Thursday. Check out Squad Pod Podcast every Friday and Squad Nights every Monday. And make sure to go and follow us on Twitter at Squad Pod Sports.
Check out Squad Pod or Squad Nights on Mondays, man. We play this new game, Valheim, and it's consuming all of us. We love it. It's so cool. You need to watch. It's awesome.
It's so fun. But yeah, definitely check out all of our content. We'll be having more here coming in the next couple of months. So stay tuned, and we'll see everybody next week.
Peace out.
Peace out.